is this guy?
He's claiming to be the world's first real supervillain. What an asshole.
We're putting an end to this costume freak. If they're wearing a mask, they're getting detained.
Promise me that you will never dress up in that outfit again.
Kick-Ass isn't a costume. It's who you really are.
My daddy made me promise I'd never stop defending this city. I'm prepared for anything.
We gotta make this right. The anticipation's killing me.
I saw something you didn't see.
A vagina?
Oh. That's against you.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, besides that, I went to go see Kick-Ass 2 the other day. A vagina. Oh, man. This opened up differently than what I kind of expected it to be. So I apologize for this. But yeah, Kick-Ass 2. We got a screening for it, and I'm the only one who went, which is totally fine, because you didn't really miss out on much.
Yeah.
Especially if you thought the first one was just kind of fun, or it's like, it's pretty good. Or
that's kind of what I thought. I was like, because you loved it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, let me take you back to, what was it, 2010?
Yep.
I'll take you back to 2010 really quick.
Back to reality.
Yeah.
Oops, there goes gravity.
Stop. So I started reading the first 3 issues of Kick-Ass, the first one, like, when they were coming out, and I followed the whole comic until it finished, like, right before the movie came out. And I fell in love with the comic right away. Actually, it's like the first real comic I actually followed. Like, I didn't really read any. So I was a huge fan of the comic, and then the movie was a super faithful adaptation while changing stuff that actually made it better. Like, the ending is different from the comic, and I actually like the ending of the movie better than the comic one.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I was a huge fan of this movie. I liked everyone in it. Nicolas Cage was awesome. It had 3 of, like, the best action scenes I'd seen that year.
Mark Strong was in it.
Mark Strong was great in it, and it was just it was super funny. It was a really raunchy, bloody superhero movie. So basically, it's everything that I like, you know. So yeah, I fell in love with the movie right away, and I gave it a really high rating.
I think me and Black Zeus were kind of on the same page. With like, that was good.
which I could totally understand people being like that. I mean, it's that thing of, you're either a part of the fan base or you're just a regular moviegoer seeing a new movie called Kick-Ass.
That's kind of how I approached it.
Yeah, so it's totally
nothing against comics. I just have
It's fine that you approach it like that. But because of that, I was really excited for Kick-Ass 2. Now I haven't finished the comic Kick-Ass 2. I only got 4 issues in before I kind of forgot that it existed because school started and stuff like that. But I was really excited for the movie, you know, because Jim Carrey's going to be in it.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo, who I'm a fan of.
Turk.
Donald Faison, who's actually really great in this. He does have a lot of screen time, which is cool.
Oh, that's good.
And it's, you know, it's bigger, badder. You got
more badass.
An army of supervillains against an army of superheroes.
That sounds cool.
It does sound cool. Doesn't it sound cool?
Oh, no.
It's not that good.
The sarcastic tone in your voice would suggest otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me get into the plot really quick. It takes place right after Kick-Ass. Just like, I don't know, I'd say a couple, like maybe 3 years after. Well, I guess, yeah, 3 years after.
I thought you were going to say, like, when you said, like, right afterwards, I thought it was going to be like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, no. No, but like, what I mean by that is like, Hit Girl is now a freshman in high school, and Kick-Ass is like finishing it. So there has been time that's passed. Kick-Ass hasn't been doing anything. You know, he hasn't been fighting any crimes or anything like that. While Hit Girl has been sneaking out from her now adoptive father from the first one. And she's still trying to take down crime, even though she's not supposed to. Meanwhile, Red Mist, also known as Christopher Mintz-Plasse, his whole life is trying to take down Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
And trying to find him.
For understandable reasons.
Yeah. You know, so that's his whole thing. He just wants to take down Kick-Ass, and he wants to get a group of supervillains to.
I mean, I'm not excusing the guy. I'm not excusing the guy, but
no, but
If you've seen the last one, you can understand why he would want to kill Kick-Ass.
It's a revenge thing.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get an army of supervillains to be on his team, while Kick-Ass is trying to get back into the game by training with Hit Girl, and he meets Donald Faison playing Dr. Gravity, who is really cool. And Dr. Gravity introduces him to Colonel Stars and Stripes, played by Jim Carrey, who I'm going to say right now does not get a lot of screen time.
Aww.
In fact, he gets the exact amount of time he does in the comic. So if you've read the comic, you know what's going to happen to him. I thought they were going to change it, based on the fact that he's in every single trailer and poster.
Yeah, exactly.
So you think he's going to be like a prominent character. He's
and
not.
it's Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he's not. But he does do a really good job. But we'll get into that later. So Captain Stars and Stripes is recruiting another team of superheroes, but they're more doing not really taking down crime, but more just being really good people. So they're doing charity work and just trying to show people that superheroes do exist, whether it's just helping them out with groceries or actually fighting crimes.
All right.
But all these things are gonna come together.
Or at the same time, at Trader Joe's, just help. Here's your ice cream, man. BAM!
Yeah, exactly. They could do that too.
I whooped your ass.
Now we're gonna start seeing those in Trader Joe's. But yeah, it's that's the basic plot of this film. Superheroes.
Sorry to the one guy that was wearing headphones right there.
You mean me fucking right now? You did that right by my ear.
Oh, that's a nice description. Ah!
That's why I had I don't even know how to react to that because I'm in pain. But the basic plot is just supervillains versus superheroes, and by super I mean everyday people wanting to be more than what they are.
Okay.
That being said, there is this movie does get kind of dark at some places, and the way I saw this, it reminded me of Crank High Voltage. Crank already was a crazy ass movie.
Yes, it was.
So Crank High Voltage was let's up the ante even more.
Yep.
And we're gonna do not just crazy things with we're not gonna just push the sexuality, the vulgarity, the blood. They pushed everything as far as they can.
Well, it was one of those things where they not only pushed that, but they used inventive there's a whole what was it the giant Godzilla fights
the Godzilla
just
fight.
kind of clever stuff like that.
So it's let's push it all to the top, but let's also be really super creative in how we film this.
Yeah.
To make it just this is amazing when I'm watching because it's like nothing I've never seen. This is ridiculous and I love it.
A sequel that's better than the original.
It really is. So Kick-Ass 2 tries to do that as well, and I think just completely fails.
Oh.
I mean, it is bloodier than the first one. It is way more vulgar than the first one.
And the first one was pretty bloody.
It does have some stylized moments, for instance when Red Mist, or actually his new name is the Motherfucker. That's his name, and it's actually kind of a funny origin to how he gets his costume and stuff like that.
Was it Motherfucker Jones and Horrible Bosses?
A little bit. It's kind of like
fucked
that.
her over, and that's why they call me Motherfucker Jones.
That's actually one of the highlights of the movie. But when he's putting his team together, you get all these characters like Mother Russia, who's this big fucking Russian chick who's all muscular and shit.
My kind of woman. Hello.
Genghis Carnage and stuff like that. But every time he introduces a new character, it's an animated version of them, or just like a drawn version of them from the comic that pops up onto the screen with the name and everything. So it's they do stuff like that, and anytime there's subtitles, it's word bubbles in the comic. So it's cool stuff like that, but it's not really used effectively. It's just oh hey look, that was cool.
No.
Unlike Crank 2, where it's it actually plays towards the feel of the movie. And, it adds so much to it.
Yeah.
Where Crank 2, it's you get the little video game style stuff and, different subtitles here now and then. Where here it just feels like an afterthought almost. Oh, let's put this in really quick.
Okay.
So, it tries to do more, yet it feels like less.
Sometimes
and I'm not sure... I'm not sure if it's the fact that we have a new director. You know, the first one was directed by Matthew Vaughn.
Yes.
This one's directed by Jeff Wadlow, who I've never actually seen any of his movies, but he's made Never Back Down and Cry Wolf, which, I mean, I barely remember those when they came out.
I remember seeing bits and pieces of Never Back Down. I don't really know how the movie was, but it starred Amber Heard and John Hansu, which I like.
But he hasn't made the best movies, and he wrote this one, and that's what kind of worries me.
Okay.
That's probably what affected it, because, like, as much as they're pushing up the ante, the writing went way down.
Really?
There's some dialogue in here that's just painful.
Really?
And where the first one had clever jokes with gore or some other stuff, this one has, like, some gross out jokes. Seemingly, they kind of stopped the movie for it.
That sucks.
And it's just like, this is just gross trying to be shocking.
Is it like a, not like an Adam Sandler thing where it's just like gross out, like needless
it is,
fart
man.
joke?
No, it is. It's a vomit and shit joke.
Oh.
Like, all in one.
I mean,
which, they can be funny. I like vomit jokes in movies. Like,
Pitch
Pitch
Perfect.
Perfect had, like, one of the best ones I've seen in a while. This one's just like, it's just like, yeah, it's completely needless. And not just that, a lot of the effects in this, and I mean blood and vomit, is CG. And I'm not sure if they were under a budget or something like that, but CG gore and CG any other body fluid never looks good.
It doesn't look as good. Like, I'm sure if they did the new Evil Dead all in CG, we wouldn't be as amazed with it.
Yeah,
what's so amazing about the gore in Evil Dead is that it is practical.
Yeah,
and that's why it looks like it hurts so much.
And honestly, I would say like 80% of the gore in this is CG, which is kind of disappointing. And I mean like blood splatters and stuff like that. There are some cool practical effects when people get killed off, pretty cool. But that aside, it's like, I really wish they wouldn't have done that, because it makes it feel like this movie should have gone straight to DVD.
Really?
Even the way it's filmed. Like, I'm not sure what cameras they're using, but it doesn't feel like a movie.
Really?
Like a movie you'd go out to see in theaters. It feels like something I would watch on Netflix or straight to DVD.
I was looking up, and yes, Matthew Vaughn did write the screenplay along with Jane Goldman, they both also wrote Kick-Ass, Stardust, Matthew Vaughn Stardust, X-Men First Class, and Jane Goldman wrote The Woman in Black.
But didn't Jeff Wadlow write the screenplay?
Yeah, but the first one.
Oh, no, I'm talking about this one.
I'm curious, like...
So Matthew Vaughn did write
because you said...
Yeah, because you know what?
The dip in...
The first one has those jokes that feels like something you'd see in like a Guy Ritchie Matthew Vaughn movie. Like that clever, quick-witted humor.
Well, those two people clearly have talent from the movies I listed. I mean, those are all good movies.
Where this one, the writing, like, not only did it take a step down, it's just plain uneven. There are scenes where it's like, it does get dark. And there are some times where it's like, okay, this is dark in an effective way where it makes me feel for the character. And
the original got dark near the end. Like, one scene in particular, like, oh my god.
But yeah, it's like, okay, I feel for the character, and this makes sense, and this is pushing the plot. And then there's an attempted rape scene, which is just like, it's just in bad taste, to me at least.
Yeah.
Like, it's made for a joke, and I just didn't find it funny.
Ooh.
And I'm not like, and honestly, I'm not trying to say that there are certain things you can make jokes about, which, I mean, I know a lot of people think that. I'm good with freedom of speech and everything being made fun of. But if it's just done just kind of dumb and in bad taste, it's like, that makes it seem even worse, you know?
A bad taste joke just for shock value is kind of just like, well, you just wanted to say that just to get a reaction. And I feel like, you know...
And you know what? This joke wasn't effective because I only heard, like, a few people laugh. It was kind of, like, awkward and just like, what are you guys doing?
I guess if you phrase it, I don't know. A rape joke is just such a tricky...
Yeah, but...
Almost like a kind of like, come on, guys, you can really do better than that.
They really could have. And it seems like that, where it's just like, what are you guys doing? This doesn't even feel like Kick-Ass anymore. Which, like, Kick-Ass is a graphic comic you know, they say the C word a bunch and
Yeah,
some other stuff, which I don't mind any of that. I'm not saying, hey guys, don't do that. No, I like violence. I like bad language. I like all that stuff in my movies.
I like nudity. Sign me up.
I mean, you've heard our show. We swear. We try not to hold anything back. I think the only thing we haven't said is the C word, but still.
Cock.
But this one just feels like you're trying. It feels like Hangover 2.
Oh.
You're trying to push it too hard, and it's not funny. And whatever shock you're trying to give me, I've already seen it before.
Hangover 2 is one of those movies where you're like, not only is this a true
original, but that's the only way I see it like Hangover 2. I'm not saying there's a retread, because it actually, as a sequel, it does do something different.
Well, I'm saying, like, the problem with Hangover 2 was not only the obvious point that people bring up, but I think the bigger problem with Hangover 2 is what you're saying, like, they try to push jokes so far where it's no longer funny. It's more like, dude, you're really going to need therapy to get over that.
No, you know what? I don't even see it as, like, gross. It's just like, I've seen stuff like this before, and you're not doing clever enough to make me laugh at it.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that make me really dislike it, dislike this movie. And I don't want to dislike it, because I really like Kick-Ass.
Yeah, this sounds like it kind of broke your little heart.
It did. I'm really... You know what? This movie is my son who's done something that he shouldn't have done. And I'm not mad at him. I'm just really disappointed in him. Like Kick-Ass 2, you know better. You know better than that. What are you doing?
And if anybody knows, that's the worst. A parent can get angry at you, but if there's disappointed in you, that really sinks in like, oh shit, I really did something bad.
But,
so get out the belt.
I mean, there is some good stuff. Like I mentioned, I really like the origin story of the motherfucker, even though it's kind of short.
Mm.
There are some scenes of action that I like the final climax where it's, you know, superheroes versus supervillains is really cool.
Mm.
There's a scene that you've seen on the trailer where it's action on a road that's really cool. That's done very well. And that's where a lot of the practical gore comes in, and I'm glad it did. But then there's like none of the scenes, even though I like some of the action scenes, they're not even as good as the first one. Because like those two, like there's that scene that's in first person, and there's that 360 shot with Nicolas Cage where he's just taking out everyone in the warehouse. That was amazing. Like it just doesn't even go anywhere near those scenes.
That sounds like a disappointment, man.
It's a very disappointing movie.
Even for someone who I like me, who was just like, it's good. I mean, I know you really loved it. It was good. But even for me, it sounds like a disappointment.
The thing is, I really wanted to like this movie. And there were points where I did. It's just, the bad really outweighs the good in this movie. And for that, I can only give it 2 out of 4. Which is like, I was really expecting to love this movie. And maybe I had high hopes for it, but I mean, shouldn't I? I really liked Kick-Ass. And you're just making Kick-Ass too. The comic is good. What's so hard about it? Like, I don't know.
Well, this sounds
like
a dark day for
let me point out some stuff that people probably want to hear. Donald Faison is in it. He's great in it. He has a lot of screen time. He's really funny. He has some of the best lines in the movie. Chloe Grace Moritz. A lot of people are complaining that she's not used enough, but she wasn't used that much in Kick-Ass 2, like the comic. Yeah. So it makes sense. And what screen time she does have, I mean, she does actually have a big arc in this that's filmed, and it's just her.
She's a really good actress.
And she's a really good actress. And this, too. She's really good in this. But
she's given
some lines where it's like, why would you agree to say that? That's just childish. Like, fuck. See? That's the problem with this. Every time I want to say something good, I get reminded of something bad that happens. What are you doing, Kick-Ass 2? Go to your room. You're grounded.
It's people like Chloe Moretz who make me go, what am I doing with my life? She's 16, and she's such a good actress. She's been in, 500 Days of Summer, and Kick-Ass.
If you're a fan of the first one, I feel like you might be disappointed. If you've never seen the first one, or you just watched it, kind of just like Jeff, just as a moviegoer, you want to go see something, you might like this a little more than me, but I feel like you're still going to have the same problems.
All right.
So yeah, 2 out of 4.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. You all right?
I can't even I can't even punish my son because it's like he knows better. Why do you do these things? Why do you tear me and your mom apart?
I learned it from you, Dad.
Who the hell are you?
We're the good guys.
You're the dead guys.
Schwanz, wieder. Ow! Jesus! Yeah, there's a dog on your balls.